Welcome to Sleep and Deep Lucid Dreaming, the podcast that explores your inner universe and invites you to fall in love with sleep. I'm Dr. Clare Johnson, and I'll help you tap into your own genius and discover the mysteries of sleep and lucid dreams. Hello, I thought it was about time I did an episode on lucid dream sex because so many people ask me about this. And if you ask the average lucid dreamer what they like to do best in their lucid dreams, two answers are by far the most popular. One is flying and the other is having sex. So today I'll explore the pros and the cons of lucid dream sex, and I'll answer a few interesting questions that people have asked me on my website. For example, a virgin who wants to know if they're having lucid dream sex, if it's going to hurt or not, and a couple of other questions about lucid dream orgasms and the ultra-reality of lucid dream sex. I go deeply into the whole topic of lucid dream sex in the complete book of lucid dreaming, which also has a guide on how to have successful dream sex, because it's not always that straightforward. And it also includes a discussion on the ethics of lucid dream sex. Now, there's zero explicit content in this episode. I'll talk about the topic in a scientific and informative way, just to raise awareness and give some straight answers to those who are seeking to learn more. And the thing to remember about lucid dreams is that most of them take place in REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, and genital arousal is a scientifically verified physiological feature of REM sleep. So this may go some way to explaining not only the realism of the sensations, but also the heightened sexual desire that many lucid dreamers report. Lucid dream sex can feel as real as waking life sex. One veteran lucid dreamer, Dr. Patricia Garfield, wrote an entire book about her erotic lucid dreams called Pathway to Ecstasy. And she reports that the majority of her lucid dreams result in orgasm, and they often don't even require a partner. Instead, she brings on the orgasm by flying up to great heights, and then she plummets back down to earth or into the ocean. And on impact with the water or the land, she explodes into orgasm. Clearly, there are many pros to lucid dream sex. Lucid dreaming is such a versatile state of consciousness that the dreamer can explore sexual bliss in any way that occurs to them. Sexual exploration in lucid dreams can even be a pathway to healing for some people. Like a deeply inhibited person may experiment with lucid dream sex far more easily than in waking life, as in dreams we are less inhibited. And learning to express sexuality freely in the dream can then carry over into waking life and bring more ease and confidence in the bedroom. And a huge plus is that you can't contract sexually transmitted diseases when you have sex in a lucid dream. So it's a safe sex situation by default. The sensations can be convincingly real and result in actual physical orgasm, as demonstrated by LaBerge, Greenleaf, and Kedzierski back in 1983. So lucid dream sex can help people through a dry spell when they're single, but they're lonely and they're longing for sexual experiences. In lucid dreams, you can experiment with different partners, hone your seduction skills in a safe space, or allow your wildest fantasies to play out. But what about the cons of lucid dream sex? I've actually met people who tell me their relationship ended in part because their partner felt so jealous and threatened by their erotic lucid dream adventures. And this opens up a whole other topic around the very nature of what counts as real or not real and what monogamy and fidelity mean within your partnership. On the one hand, it touches on the accountability of lucid dreamers who are by definition conscious within the dream stage and able to make choices about their actions. And on the other hand, it raises ethical questions about the personal freedom of an individual to think, fantasize, or lucid dream about whatever they want to. So it also touches on the level of control that some people wish to have over their partner's minds. So it's a fascinating topic that I explore in the complete book of lucid dreaming. And I'm happy to do a podcast episode on this if people are interested in delving into the ethics of lucid dream sex. Just drop me a comment and let me know. Another con to lucid dream sex is that certain people who are socially awkward or isolated might come to rely on lucid dream sex a bit too much instead of going out into the world and creating meaningful, intimate human connections. Um, but for the vast majority of people, this will not be an issue. And one difficulty with lucid dream sex is that many people report being stood up by the dream person they wish to see. So imagine if your heart is set on having an erotic lucid dream, but no matter how hard you try to get your heartthrob to appear, they don't materialize. Or they show up, but they look completely unappealing, or they start to wobble and fade away before your eyes. Lucid dream sex is not always as straightforward as it might sound. People have reported their ideal lover not showing up at all, or melting into nothing just as things were starting to get interesting, or even turning into an animal, a monster, or a parent right in the middle of the action. The Art of Lucid Dreaming has a lucidity quiz which fast tracks you to the best techniques for you. And in that book, there's also a guide to fabulous lucid dream sex to help you navigate some common obstacles in this area. In these situations of spontaneous metamorphosis, lucid dreamers tend to report instant awakening or a sudden scene change. And if the shock doesn't wake you up, there are various possibilities that you can, make recourse to if you find yourself in this situation in a lucid dream. On my Deep Lucid Dreaming website, I pose a hypothetical question in one of my blog posts. I say, what do you do if your dream lover turns into a zebra? Well, lucid dreamers have many options open to them. They might ask the dream imagery what it represents. Why did your heartthrob just turn into a zebra? Was this a day residue from a visit to the zoo the day before, so that an accidental thought triggered a change in the dream content? Or is there a deeper message here? Essentially, in lucid dream sex, our mindset and the thoughts we think, the expectations we have are all extremely important. This is because lucid dreaming is a thought responsive environment. So if we're half expecting the dream sex to go wrong, it likely will. And we can fix this problem by doing a pre-bed visualization where we strongly imagine having successful lucid dream sex, really believing that it is possible. This intentional practice boosts our mindset. It fires up our expectations so that the lucid dream is much more likely to develop in the way that we hope it will. So if your dream heartthrob transforms into an animal or something else, if stable lucidity is retained, that can be enough to just will this animal or whatever it is to turn back into something more inspiring or to initiate a completely different change of scene. So you could simply release the idea of having a sexual encounter in that particular lucid dream. Sometimes it's not meant to be. Look around and see what the dream is creating and choose a new way to engage with it. Because lucid dreaming is full of surprises, and this is part of its fascination. We're not the sole creators of a lucid dream. There's another force there, the force of the unconscious mind, which is a hotbed of emotions, associations, memories, instincts, symbolic imagery. So there are various pros and cons, and sometimes even ethical relationship questions around lucid dream sex. And I'd like to answer a couple of questions on this topic to finish up. The first question came from a young lady who wrote to my deepluciddreaming.com blog to say that she's a virgin, and since she hasn't had sex in real life before, and she's heard that first-time real-life sex can be painful, she's wondering, will this hurt if she has sex in a lucid dream? In a lucid dream, we're not having physical penetrative sex because there's no actual physical penetration. So even if a person reaches orgasm in the dream, it's highly unlikely for there to be any pain at all during lucid dream sex. The only thing to bear in mind is that our expectations can shape the dream because we're in a thought-responsive environment. So our expectations and intentions have a strong effect on the lucid dream. Lucid dream sex doesn't have to mimic exactly what first-time physical sex is like. So if you expect sex to be painless and enjoyable in a lucid dream, it very likely will be. And another person asked whether he is more likely to have a sex dream if he refrains from masturbating. So when people refrain from masturbation or sex, they may be more likely to have a lucid sex dream as a general rule, but it's not necessarily always the case. In fact, some people say that daytime sex triggers erotic dreams. In REM sleep, the genitals become aroused. It's simply a natural part of the sleep state. And some lucid dreamers become instantly turned on the moment they realize they're dreaming. So the best way to find out what works best for you is to experiment. Repeating a mantra before you fall asleep, such as, "The next time I feel aroused, I'll recognize that I'm dreaming," can be helpful to trigger a lucid dream. And the final question is from a woman who wants to know why her sex dreams feel so real, as if she's actually experiencing it. She asks, "What is going on here?" And for those of you who've listened to the whole episode, you'll now know, if you didn't already, that most lucid dreams occur in REM sleep, where there's this natural genital arousal. So this, combined with the ultra-real, multisensory, vivid reality of a lucid dream, results in incredibly realistic sex dreams. The lucid dream is co-created. It's a mutual dance. So this is one reason why it's generally a wise idea to treat all lucid dream figures with respect in erotic situations as well as in any other situations. It's also helpful to expect the unexpected, be mentally flexible, and learn to laugh at yourself. And with this mindset, we can learn to dance to the creative beat of the lucid dream and explore to our heart's content. So thanks for listening. Do take a moment to leave a review to support this podcast if you're finding it helpful. And I wish you deep, lucid dreams. You've been listening to Sleep and Deep Lucid Dreaming, the podcast that explores the mystery of your inner universe and invites you to fall in love with sleep. Please subscribe and leave a review, then come on over to deepluciddreaming.com.